Hello, Wednesday morning. Please turn on your video. Okay, today is a very interesting and surprising seminar to me and for presenter, Dr. Lee. Eunji. She was a former student of College of Hotel and Tourism, Kyunghee University, and she's become a research assistant professor at the Hotel Tourism Management in Hong Kong and Hong Kong Polytechnic University. She holds a PhD in tourism Kyunghee University, South Korea, and previously serving visiting scholar at Temple University. So she graduated from Kyunghee University and visiting scholar at Temple University 1 year, and then found her job in Hong Kong again. Her research focused on tourism hospitality marketing and drawing on industry experience in bridging academic insight with the practical application. Before entering academia, she worked for 10 years as a flight attendant at Asian Airlines. She departed from Asian Airlines, and Asian Airlines therefore bankrupt. Okay, including 8 years in business class service. I never taken that class. I'm always economic class. She has published in leading journals such as Annals of Tourism Research, in a top link journal in our field. Journal of Travel Research, another top link journal. International Journal of Hospitality Management is top tier journal, and Journal of Hospitality Tourism Research, Information Systems Frontiers, Information Processing and Management, and some other scholarly work. Okay, thank you for accepting our request for this seminar, and the stage goes to Dr. Lee, and please sharing your okay, good. Please make it large.
Yeah. Can you see my
good.
screen now?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And thank you very much Professor Koo, for the kind introduction. It's totally an honor to be here today and to have the opportunity to share my research with all of you. And as Professor Koo mentioned, I completed my PhD at Kyunghee University, where I spent almost 5 years. And today I'm happy to present my talk titled Marketing Psychology in Tourism and Hospitality to the research stream, destination imaging and behavior pricing. Actually, I have been conducting research in tourism and hospitality marketing, and in this seminar, I'd like to introduce some of the topics I really enjoy exploring, and I will present 2 different studies I have conducted, and one on destination imaging and another is behavior pricing things. And the outline of today's presentation is as follows. And first, I will briefly introduce my academic and industry background and along with my research interest. And second, I will discuss destination imaging and related marketing implication, and followed by recent research conducted by Dr. Koo. And third, I will move on to behavior pricing in hospitality and tourism marketing and present my second study examining psychology pricing impact in airlines upgrade situation. And finally, I will conclude with ongoing project and future research direction. And first, let me introduce myself. And I completed my undergraduate study in tourism at Kyunghee University in 2008. And after that, I pursued my master's degree in convention and exhibition management at Kyunghee University and continue complete my PhD PhD in the Smart Tourism Education Platform, also at Kyung University. And as you know, my advisor was Professor Trammell, who guided me throughout both my master and PhD studies. And actually, during my PhD program, I also worked as a research assistant at the Smart Tourism Research Center, where I gained very valuable experience conducting various research and industry collaboration projects. And I graduated with my PhD last year in 2024 and immediately joined Temple University as a postdoctoral researcher with the support of Professor Yang. I spent 1 year there. And starting from September this year, I joined the School of Hotel and Tourism Management at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University as a research assistant professor. And as many of you may already know, PolyU, together with Hotel Icon, provides an exceptional environment for young researchers. There are expansive funding opportunity and strong institutional support. So I'm still new here, but I'm learning a great deal every day. Here. And before entering academia, I spent 10 years working in the airline industry, and I served as a business class cabin crew member as an assistant puzzle at Asiana Airlines. And through my work in premium cabin class, I developed a deep understanding of hospitality, service management, and customer experience. And I believe this experience, this background influenced my research today, especially when I study customer psychology and behavior and experience design. Now, let me briefly my main research and teaching interest. And my research area include hospitality and tourism marketing, service management, and smart tourism. In terms of teaching, I taught smart tourism and smart tourism design at Kyung University. And here at PolyU, I'm currently teaching in-flight service management, which connects closely with my working experience. Regarding research method, I mainly use experimental and also work with text and data mining, especially when analyzing large-scale social media data. So in terms of research output, during my PhD program, I have published in 13 SSCI and SCIE index journal, including major tourism and hospitality and management and MIS journal as well. And building on this background, my main research topic centered around hospitality and tourism marketing, focused on two key topics, destination imaging and behavior pricing. And actually, these two themes will be focused on today's presentation. So for the first main topic of today's presentation, I'd like to talk about destination imaging and its marketing implication. And as you know, destination imaging has been a fundamental concept in tourism literature. And personally, I really love this topic because I started working as a cabin crew member at the age of 23, and I traveled around the world for many years. And during the time, I realized that the image I had of a destination before visiting often change after actually experience and visit them. So every trip gave me a new impression, even when I visit the same place again. For example, sometimes a destination that once I felt unfamiliar, finally familiar, and this shift completely changed the image in my mind. So because of my personal curiosity, I could expand this topic as my key research topic and interest. So academically, when we look at destination imaging, the concept has been defined in several important ways. And first, Crumpton described destination imagery as the sum of beliefs, ideas, and impression a person holds about a destination. Actually, this definition highlights the destination imagery, not just one perception, but a combination of cognitive and emotional impression. And also, Gartner suggests that destination imagery consists of three key components: cognitive, affective, and cognitive dimension. Specifically, cognitive dimension refer to our knowledge and beliefs about a city or specific destination. And also, affective dimension reflect our feeling toward a city or specific destination. And finally, cognitive dimension relate to our behavior aspects, such as intention to visit or revisit intention. So, and finally, Gon emphasized the destination image is dynamic rather than static, and it evolves before, during, and after travel as tourists gain new information and form new experience. Actually, this idea fits well with my own experience seeing the same destination differently each time I visit. So before we go into the results, let's take a moment to think about the images we have of different cities. And what impression do you have of these different cities, like Seoul, New York, and Hong Kong? Do you have any thought?
You know, uh, the Seoul is the middle of autumn season, quite that image, and inspiring us to visit Seoul. And New York is Central Park is a center of New York Manhattan City, and Hong Kong is quite routine image. So the concept of destination image, we are pretty much pre-routine image we have. So but pre-routine image is not so much inspiring to me anymore, but some kind of another fantasy or another imagination, another expectation, another novelty image is kind of extra, destination image I are pursuing, and that bring me to the destination. So I wonder whether people pursuing the original traditional image or new, fantasy images. That's my question in these days. A lot of the K-pop stars and that sort of things is making people visiting Korea. It's beyond the kind of autumn leaves in Seoul. So what do you think about the new phenomenon is a K-pop star and the destination image, and the AI also manipulate original destination image? So two main factors, AI and K-pop image and the K-pop culture and sort of things. What's your opinion about that?
Yeah, actually, you're right. I believe so. These days, many people think Seoul is very typical and representative city of K culture, including K-pop. So I think this is really, really interesting. Interesting aspect to explain new image formation. Yes, you're right. And also, as you mentioned, Seoul has a four season. I also believe this is very interesting point compared to other city and country. Seoul has very unique natural characteristic like seasonality. So this is also very interesting aspect. So, and thank you for sharing your thought and impression. Yeah, as Dr. Kun mentioned, I believe that is an image differ from city to city, right? So personally, and Seoul is a city I lived for more than 10 years. So for me, Seoul represents a dynamic blend of tradition and modernity, like historical plays and K-pop or diverse neighborhoods. And also Dr. Ko mentioned like technology or coexisting with advanced technology. We can see many technology advancement in our city. So right. And on the other hand, New York is a place I visit frequently during my years as a cabin crew member when I work at the airlines. And later, when I was in Philadelphia during my time at Temple University, I visit New York very often because it was so close. And it's busy reinforced the city's unique characteristic, like diverse, very ambitious, and constantly moving, and full of cultural richness. So I just feel like this city that never sleeps. And finally, how about Hong Kong? Actually, now Hong Kong is the city where I live and work, and Hong Kong is incredibly dynamic and energetic mix of East and West. And living here, I really feel the strong cultural identity and the fast face lifestyle. So actually, as Dr. Ku mentioned, in here, we can find very important implication. It means the image we hold is not fixed, right? It differs from city to city and it changes over time. I think this 2 point is very meaningful implication to understand the concept of destination image. So destination image is never completely stable. It reflects the dynamic nature of human perception shaped by personal experience and cultural background. So this is actually why understanding destination image is so important and difficult in tourism marketing. So when we look at destination image research from 2019 to 2024, we can see that the literature has evolved into 4 major clusters. And one of the most dominant cluster is the area related to social media and big data. And this trend makes a lot of sense because destination image is fundamentally about people's perception, that is, tourist perception. And today, our perception are increasingly shaped by user-generate content like a photo or online review or any other types of content on online social media, right? So this means we are constantly exposed to these kind of digital traits, and they shape the image we have before we visit a specific destination. In other words, tourists have now become a key agent in creating destination imaging. So building
I
on
have a
this
question
understanding,
before we move. The previous slide, you mentioned the UGC, the previous slide. Okay,
this slide?
UGC, user generative contents, which is individual travelers take a photo or they anyway their ideas and opinions and the thought they generate to their contents and posting onto their social media. We say that is user generated contents. In contrast, DMO, destination marketing organizations such as Seoul 관광재단, Seoul Marketing Organization (SDO), and Korea tourism organizations such as 한국관광공사. They also generate their contents and posting and sharing it to potential users. So probably it's a bit different point of view between official institution and individual UGC. So what do you think about that point?
Yeah, actually, these things is today's presentation topic. As Dr. Kuhn mentioned, there are many perspectives and there are many agents to create the tourist-related contents. Where typically these days, many tourists engage to create the specific destination, so we can share many content in our online platform. And however, Dr. Kuhn mentioned, like Seoul 관광재단 or Korean tourism organization, they also have to engage making good content to attract international tourists, right? So as Dr. Kuhn mentioned, this is our main topic, and this gap we can call this gap as destination image congruence. So today I will explain this concept more detail. Maybe next page I will explain more about that issue. Okay, thank you for your question. And yeah, as Dr. Kuhn mentioned, the perceptual gap is today our main topic we discuss. So, okay, let me briefly explain the concept of destination image congruence. And destination image congruence refers to the alignment or mismatch between the image projected by tourism marketer, as Dr. Kuhn mentioned, including like DMO or 서울 관광재단, and the image perceived by tourists. And so in this slide, on the left side, we have the projected image, which is intentionally created by DMOs and marketer to shape how a destination is viewed. And however, on the left side, we have the perceived image, which is formed by tourists based on their actual experience, expectation, and personal interpretations. So when these two images do not match, previous literature suggests that a form of representative dissonance may occur. This is a very big problem in the perspective of tourism marketer.
So before we go, probably people are not understanding the keyword is congruence, incongruence. So like when you explained to us, must be a gap between supplier DMO and individual tourist, which is incongruence. If the gap is slim, that probably is a very good congruence, but it's not, typically not easy. And your paper is all about there is a destination image congruence provided by supplier, provided by tourist, right?
Yeah, yes, you're correct.
So even me, when I start to work with you, I have no idea about the exactly keyword congruence and incongruence.
Yeah, you can just think about this like similarity.
Similarity, good. Similarity, right?
Yeah, congruence means the similarity.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the perspective of marketer, marketer should close the gap between perception and expectation and reality. Yeah, this is the core. Yeah.
Yes,
basis.
right. Similarity.
Okay. Concept. Yeah. Okay, and I will explain more detail about this concept. Here, look at this picture. You can clearly see how the same destination can be represented very differently depending on who is presenting it, right? As Dr. Kuhn mentioned, and there are two different perspectives. First one is supplier perspective, and second is tourist perspective. So actually, this photo was Ihoteu Beach in Jeju Island and South Korea. So on the left side, we have the marketer perspective. It looks very beautiful, carefully curated photo that highlight the most attractive and romantic aspects of the destination, right? And sometimes this is often intentional, and sometimes marketer may even overpromise, right? And but on the right side, we see tourist perspective. the received image based on what tourists actually encounter. In reality, in many cases, tourists may encounter scenes that feel quite different from the promotional images. Like they might even see less appealing elements, such as trash or signs of over maintenance. So this mismatch and this gap can strongly influence how tourists evaluate their overall experience. Actually, as Dr. Ku mentioned, because tourists and marketers view a destination with different purpose in mind, so their perception naturally differ, right? But
Right.
at the same time, finding way to reduce this perceptual gap Is it clear? Can you understand?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Imagine that means clear.
Yeah, okay. Okay. As I mentioned, most studies on destination image congruence have focused on the gap between market and tourist. In other words, projected image and the received image. And this perspective is very important, as I mentioned, and it has been discussed in the literature for a long time. However, as we saw in bibliometrics analysis result I showed earlier, these days, tourists themselves now play a very crucial role in shaping destination image, right? So through user-generated photo or review or any kinds of content, tourists actively construct image of destination. So, however, despite this growing influence, very little research has examined the difference and similarity among tourists themselves.
Yeah,
So look
right.
at this example. You can see three different stakeholders here. Specifically, tourist A and tourist B may visit the same place on the same day. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yet they may perceive the destination in completely different way, right? So there is a clear research gap here, while the projected and perceived image relationship has been widely studied in tourism literature. However, the inter-tourist dimension of image congruence has been almost overlooked. So we led us to the idea that the notion of destination image congruence need to be conceptually expanded to include the dynamics among tourists as key stakeholder.
Okay, one moment, the extra comment from me. Her paper value here, destination marketers posting their image. And as the individual trust A, myself, Cholmo, I take a look this image and I have a desire to visit the place because of this image. But there is an incongruence between two. But her paper is not only this perspective, but also she measured between tourist to tourist, inter-tourist. And she measured not only the destination and tourist, but also tourist to tourist at the same time. That's the value. 대길, 대길. Hello? Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, you're right. So we try to expand the concept of destination image congruence. As Dr. Kun mentioned in previous literature, many scholars just discuss about the risk of perceptuality, Markello, and tourists. But we try to expand this concept, including in tourists that now, okay. So based on these conceptual gaps and motivation, we developed 3 specific research strategic congruence be expanded. As I mentioned, we just try to expand in the perspective of inter-tourist dimension. And second, the 2 types of destination image congruence show non-linear relationship with tourist evaluation. And lastly, how does recent experience interact with these 2 types of image congruence in influencing tourist evaluation? These are our core research questions for this study. So for research question 1, this slide shows the conceptual model we developed to expand the notion of destination image congruence. As I mentioned, traditionally, image congruence has been understood mainly the vertical axis. That is the relationship between closely the project image from marketers aligned with the perceived image from tourists. This is the form congruence that has been widely discussed in previous literature. However, as tourists increasingly contribute to shaping destination image, so it becomes essential which represent inter-tourist image congruence. So by incorporating this inter-tourist dimension, this model a more comprehensive and realistic view of destination image congruence concept. So can you understand this concept clearly now? Okay. And also practice for how to measure these things. And to capture cultural severe experience, we collected 3 advisor reviews for each attraction. If you look at the yellow box here, these reviews reflect tourist organic image. This is tourist review. It means they are on perception, emotion, and evaluation after their actual visit, right? And look at the blue box. On the supplier side, we extract the official attraction description by and by calling and analyzing those type of text, supplier description and tourist review, we were able to compute the similarity. Us to empirically examine our 3 research questions I mentioned earlier, including potential nonlinear impact and the moderating role of experience recency. So based on this idea, we developed the following research model, and we propose 3 key hypotheses in here. Specifically, H1, image congruence between supplier and tourist has a positive influence on emotional evaluation. However, we believe this positive impact will diminish once congruence reaches a certain threshold. And second, for H2, we hypothesize image congruence among tourists also has a positive influence on emotional evaluation, but similarly, this impact will diminish after a certain point. Yeah, I think this is similar logic compared to H1, right? And finally, H3 address the law of time, that is experience recency. So the relationship between supplier and tourist congruence and emotional evaluation become stronger when reviews are more recent. And also, and the same moderating effect apply to inter-tourist congruence effect. So next, I will briefly explain the theoretical foundation behind this hypothesis. And interestingly, the existing literature presents contrasting perspectives on perceptual congruence. For example, some studies suggest that matching prior expectation lead to more positive evaluation, while others highlight that encountering something unexpected or novel can also enhance the experience evaluation. So first, let me explain the positive perspective on perceptual congruence. As all of you know, according to expectancy, this confirmation theory, satisfaction increases when actual experience meet or exceed expectation, right? So recent work also demonstrates that difference between promotional information and on-site experience strongly influence tourist satisfaction. This is very traditional and very reasonable logic in various academic field, including marketing or MIS and any kind of field, right? So this line of research support a positive and largely linear effect of congruence. However, other theoretical perspective question whether greater congruence is always beneficial. For example, research on serendipity in tourism literature highlight that unexpected or novel experience can enhance emotional responses. And also, tourists sometimes value some hidden, unauthentic, or unconventional elements as a tourist, right? And importantly, from a psychological perspective, some scholars suggest that moderate incongruence can actually increase positive emotions in various situations, including purchase situation. So this again implies that extremely high congruence is not always optimal or beneficial for marketers. So combining this perspective, we expect that image congruence generally enhance emotional evaluation, but that its positive impact may diminish or even withdraw once congruence reach a certain threshold or certain level. So this is our main prediction for this study.
Okay, here I have a question. You used the three theories for your research model. One is expectation disconfirmation theory, another is a serendipity, another is a schema congruent theory. Actually, our students and even researchers and professors, it's very hard to find right theory for making research model. And can you share your experience how you bring the theories for your research model and 1, 2, 3? So how can you find those theories for your research?
Yeah, how to find? Okay. Actually, I expect all of you already know about the expectation confirmation theory because it's very famous and long-standing theory in our field and in marketing part. However, I expect as a tourist, sometimes we behave differently in compared to our daily life. Why? As a tourist, we seek very novel and sometimes we just seek very hidden and authentic aspect as a tourist. So I just try to understand the tourist psychology and behavior as a tourist because I also love traveling. So yeah, so after that, I just try to find out the different contrasting literature. And then I found that in tourism literature, there are many arguments about the unexpected, the importance of unexpected elements. And then I could link these things with my core idea. And then I could find a very interesting theory in marketing literature. So I just try to read marketing people like JCR or JML. And finally, I could find very interesting theory like schema congruity theory. And this is also very famous theory in marketing field. And finally, I could combine these three perspectives and I could find very concrete evidence to explain my prediction and my feeling on this hypothesis. Yeah.
So your recommendation to find out the right theories is reading a lot the papers.
Yeah,
and then connecting to your experience.
Yeah, and the most important, personally, I think most important thing we have to find very interesting phenomena, and we have to find out interest theory, including tourism, marketing, or any kind of field.
Okay.
So you have to read many papers.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my
Okay. Thank you. That's
Okay.
very important, lessons from you to our PhD students and the master degree students, how to find out right, adequate theory in explaining the phenomenon.
I think only way is just reading and reading and reading any paper.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the way to find good theory. Okay, next, the second point is the law of liberal recency. And prior research show that as time passes, memories fade, and tourists rely on general impression or expectation rather than specific details. In contrast, a more recent experience will recall more vividly in meaning that image congruence is likely to have stronger impact on emotional evaluation when the memory is more precious. So we consider recency as an important moderator that strengthens the effect of both type of image congruence on emotional evaluation. So based on this reasoning and literature, we propose these two hypotheses. So the relationship between image congruence and emotional evaluation is strengthened when reviews are more recent. Yeah. Okay. Our next. Okay, based on this theoretical background, this study proposed two main predictions. One first is type of image congruence, and two, moderating effect related to review recents. And we also include several counter variables such as COVID-19 and features of promotional methods and two fixed effect. And next, let me briefly explain the methodological framework of this study. And we follow a 5-step process. And first, in step 1, we develop a web scraper and collect large-scale textual data from TripAdvisor. And then we applied text pre-processing, including translation to prepare clean and representative textual data. And then we use pre-trained language model and sentence bird to convert its text into semantic vector representations. And then we calculate cosine similarity between vectors to quantify the two types of image congruence, that is our independent variables. And finally, we run regression analysis using this similarity score as the key our independent variable. And lastly, as a robustness tag, we also replicate the analysis using another pre-trained model, the universal sentence encoder. Actually, I want to note that I do not come from a computer science background. I'm not a technical specialist, but I have studied the tools needed for my research goal and applied them to this analysis. So let me briefly explain the two embedding model used in this study. And first, SentenceBird or SBird is a transformer-based model specifically designed for semantic similarity task. So unlike the original BERT, SBird used Siamese network structure, which allowed it to generate very high quality sentence embedding. It means it is really stored for cosine similarity calculation. And this model was developed by UK Lab in collaboration with Google Research. And second, for validation process, we need another language model. So we applied a universal sentence encoder or USE. And it is also pre-trained embedding model developed by Google AI Research and Google Brain team. And it is also used in tasks such as semantic relatedness or text classification or clustering. So we found that this model is very, very stable for our validation process. So next, let me explain the selection scope for this study. We choose three major global destinations like Bangkok, Paris, and London. And this city consistently rank among the world's most visited destinations and attract a high volume of international tourists every year. And importantly, its city offers a diverse range of iconic attraction as well as rich textual data from both supplier and tourist perspective on online platform. So by focusing on this destination, we just ensure that our analysis is based on a very globally relevant data set. So to prepare the data set for this study, we collect the largest scale texture data directly from TripAdvisor. So in summary, for our data source, we collect all textual data from TripAdvisor, and it consists of two types of textual data: official attraction description and user-generated review. Yeah. Those criteria for selecting our data set. And next, we apply the pre-trained language model introduced earlier to embedded or textual data into numerical vector representations. And then we calculated cosine similarity between two different texts and also among tourist review themselves. Ultimately, this cosine similarity score serves as our key independent variables. So specifically, as you can see in this figure, this is how the embedding and similarity calculation process work. So its sentence is first fed into the pre-trained SentenceBird model, and then the model convert the sentence into a high-dimensional vector. Then a pooling layer summarizes the information. And once we obtain this embedding for two pieces of text, we can calculate cosine similarity. So this is the core mechanism mechanism behind how we measure these two types of image congruence. Actually, it looks very complicated, but it's actually very simple because NLF library handle all the computation for researcher. So you can
Hey,
just
here's a question for you. You are not computer guy, you are not MIS guy, you are not familiar with data analytics, but you are attempt analyze this kind of a very seemingly complex and complicated data analytics. But how can you start this analytics, skills and you can you sharing your experience for our students?
for studying
This
technique.
this processing.
Mm.
Mm. So how can you learn from this? How can you learn this kind of a technical, data analytics skills from
Mhm.
from where? People or books or YouTube or whatever.
I think these days there are many methods to study
Mm-hmm.
and to learn
Mm-hmm.
this skill, but I would like to say the most
Mm-hmm.
important thing is to find good research question, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to find fit method to achieve our research goal.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, initially, my Dr. Ku only know my this almost or no many my study focus on some design based study, not big
Mm-hmm.
data and social media analytics, but um this study just come from my research interest and research question. So for studying this technique, I
Mm-hmm.
just use many material like YouTube or textbook, and
Mm-hmm.
I just try to read many text mining research,
Mm-hmm.
and then I could understand the basic logic
Mm-hmm.
and understanding of this muscle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then I could learn some technique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Okay.
could practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Is it enough?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can learn and you can practice this because as you know, these are many tools like Python or R,
Mm-hmm.
and there are many contents on YouTube and lectures, so
Mm-hmm.
you can learn and then you have to find the interesting research question and topic, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can apply these things.
Okay.
Okay, next, here are the operation definition of our key variables in this study. So I believe you already know these key variables, so I think we can just skip this part. And also to address potential compounding effect, we include several control variables widely used in recent tourism and text analytics research. So here's an empirical model. To rigorously test our prediction, we estimate two sets of regression models. First, we learn a model that includes all control variables, and second, we estimate a model with attraction, fixed effects, and month fixed effect. So because control variable and fixed effects often capture overlapping source of variance, including them can lead to multicollinearity. So to avoid this issue, we separate these two models. And let me first explain the result for supplier tourist image congruence. As shown in left graph, the relationship follow an inverted U shape. It means emotional evaluation increase as the project image from suppliers become more aligned with tourist actual experience. However, after reaching a certain point, the inflection point is around 0.66, this positive impact begins to weaken. Why? This means that when congruence becomes too high, the sense of novelty may decline. and causing emotional responses to level off or even decrease slightly. So that is, the effect is positive at first, but only up to a moderate level of congruence. And this finding support our main prediction, H1. And next, I'll look at the result for inter-tourist image congruence. Interestingly, this pattern was not consistent with our initial prediction, right? We anticipate a similar inverted U shape, assuming that too much alignment among tourists might reduce novelty. However, the results show a consistently increasing curve. In other words, the more tourists feel similar perception of the same attraction, the more positive their emotional evaluation becomes. So there is no diminishing return. Instead, congruence among tourists continue to reinforce positive evaluation. And this is because both linear term and color term are positive, resulting in upward curving pattern rather than inverted U shape.
Okay, here's question. Hey,
Yeah.
previous slide. Let me clarify your findings here. If supply and tourist congruence seemingly is a congruence with
Quadratic term, scale term.
okay, and here, so until this point, we may happy when the congruence is getting close from supplier image and my expectation. And soon, if too much congruence, people are not so happy with too much congruence, which is not finding at all something serendipity or something unexpected value. Then people are disappointed and then decline.
Yeah,
Is
you're
that
right.
is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly right.
And right. Okay, I'm sorry. This paper is a between the tourist and tourist. In this case, the people expected the someone's post and happy, keep happy until somebody is okay posting and like it, and I like it, which means it's authentic, genuine, and they feel like, wow, it's a real, something like that.
Yes, real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So exactly. So your findings, the reason why your paper accepted in ATR, I think is at this point. People are like until something somewhat level of congruence, but if too much congruence, and then disappoint. But in terms of between human and individual level, tourist, another tourist, they are happy to look the expected, findings, and then congruence, and keep going on when the congruence is getting close to close. Is that right?
Yes, right. And as Dr. Gu mentioned, actually for H2 visual, as you know, these are not our expectation and our prediction, but after finding this result, I was really happy because it's a very unexpected visual, but it was really interesting for me. So yeah, so I also agree with your opinion. Because of this interesting visual, we could accept the ITL. Okay. So next, let me explain how Libby resents moderates this relationship. As shown in the graph, the line represents different level of recency. So green for very recent reviews, blue for moderately recent, and red for older reviews. So we can clearly see that the positive impact of inter-tourist congruence becomes much stronger when reviews are more recent. So, but the green and blue line show a steep upward slope, meaning that when tourists write their review shortly after visiting, the shared perception and shared value among tourists strongly enhance their emotional evaluation.
You know
So
why
this
why this kind of a different result happens to this paper? This is quite interesting result. You know,
yeah, why?
yeah, supply and tourist congruence not moderating Regency effect, but however, inter-tourist congruence is influenced to Regency, effect. The Regency is a recent review, like a yesterday review is better and more reliable and trustful in between the tourist to tourist. But like a supplier, DMO's posting, it's not so important time variance. It probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago, yesterday is the same. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, why do you think like that? It's you know
Yeah,
it's very very
I
interesting
totally
outcomes.
Yeah, I totally agree with Dr. Ku's opinion. And as Dr. Ku mentioned, I think, for example, when we look at some platforms, we could see another recent review, not older review. So I believe it also affects the tourist
Even though
tourist
the paper is published
evaluation
in the
as well.
ATR, after listening your presentation, I assumed like this. Okay, I trust you, and your posting yesterday is more fancy and newness, and is just the guy is just been to Seoul yesterday and last week and last month, and I trust it. But DMO is a professional organization, so I don't trust them this year or yesterday or 10 years ago, probably, or 3 years ago, something like that. So we people, okay, I much, I much want new information. I want new one, and the people who just been to yesterday, that's is critical point to me. That's why the inter-tourist congruence is quite closely related to Regency effect.
Yeah, yes, yes, I agree with your opinion. And as Dr. Ku mentioned, I also write down on this visual, like sometimes people's decision and people evaluation can affect to others' opinion and others' decision. So based on this logic, if tourists find out similar and shared experience with other tourists, they can feel, wow, it's really good experience for me and for other and for everyone. So this social connection or social validation can enhance the overall evaluation of tourist experience. Yeah, I think this is also very interesting result in our study. So yeah, here's a just visual table across multiple model specification. We add and remove different set of variable, and the finding remain highly consistent. So and also also we randomly sample 60% of the entire dataset, and we find that the results are same. And next, we conducted a series of robustness tests to further validate our result. And first, we estimate or model using different pre-trained and embedding model. As I mentioned, the universal sentence encoder were used for validation processes. As you can see from the distribution plot on the left, the overall pattern is highly consistent across the two measurement approaches. that is sentence bird and universal sentence encoder. And we found that there are high Cronbach alpha value and strong correlation, indicating strong reliability between two method and two measure. And second, we define inter-tourist congruence using EL level aggregation instead of month level aggregation. So even with this alternative operationalization, our prediction were again fully consistent with our main finding. So together, this robustness tag confirm that our visuals are not sensitive to model specification. So to conclude, our finding can be summarized as follows. And first, supplier tourist image congruence follows an inverted U-shaped pattern. Second, inter-tourist image congruence exhibit a positive quadratic pattern. And lastly, review resense moderate inter-tourist congruence. It means resense review capture more vivid and first-hand impression, amplifying this effect. So this result open study broaden the theoretical scope of destination in image congruence. And second, it introduced nonlinear thinking into destination image research. And lastly, it established the temporal nature of image congruence. And also, we have several practical implications for tourism and destination marketer. First, marketer should balance consistency and novelty in destination image marketing. And second, marketing can use real-time tourist perception as strategic input. Lastly, they should promote immediate review sharing to strengthen post-image formation. So these are our practical implications for DMO or tourism marketer. Our study has several limitations as well. And first, future research should expand the landscape of information sources. Second, researcher can move toward multiple level analysis. And also, future study should integrate individual level psychological factor like tourist motivation or personal threat like that. And lastly, we need to strengthen the causal mechanism using varied experimental design or longitudinal research design. And finally, our postdoc analysis reveal a very interesting pattern across London, Paris, and Bangkok. Image congruence varied across individual attraction, even with the same cities. This suggests that attraction-specific feature can also play a critical role in shaping the relationship between image congruence and emotional evaluation. So this spatial and attraction level difference highlight a promising direction for future visuals. Therefore, future scholar and future researcher should further investigate this spatial and attraction level prediction. So before closing part one of this presentation, I would like to express my sincere appreciation. This research was one part of my dissertation, my doctoral presentation, was carried out with the guidance and feedback Professor Namo Chang and Sang-won Park, Jin-young Kim from Kyung University, as well as Jung-geun Kim from Texas A&M University. So I'm deeply grateful for their support and guidance. Yeah, actually we have one part more. I will keep going. Okay, next, let me move on to second major topic of this presentation. This section focuses on behavior pricing, and I will briefly introduce our second research project related to this theme. Actually, this research direction was strongly influenced by Professor Jung-geun Kim at Texas A&M University because during my PhD, I learned experimental method under his guidance and Dr. Ku's guidance, which led me to develop a deep interesting on part of behavior pricing field. And these two papers shown here are some of my favorite work in this field. So if you are interested in behavior pricing, I highly recommend reading them. And actually, the study I will present today has also been shaped by these two papers. So before introducing the study, let me briefly explain what behavior pricing is. Behavior pricing is a research domain that examines how consumers perceive, interpret, and respond to price from psychological and behavior perspectives. So rather than viewing price as a purely economic number, this field considers price as psychological signal. It means it's shaped by cognition, emotion, context, and even the way the price is presented. So as you can see here, we have two different types of price format, right? So some price appear as precise value, and while others are shown as rounded amount, such as 600, right? So here is my question for you. When you see these two types of price, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Anyone willing to share? What is the difference between two types of price? What is your feeling or thought? Do you have any idea?
My idea is when I perceive the 9 ending, 9999, is I psychologically I think it's a cheaper cheaper than the is $1,000 or $30 or $2. So actually it's just $1 difference or 1 cent difference. But my psychological statement, oh, it's cheaper. This is non-ending effect to me. But actually in Korea, we don't like that kind of posting. So 600 like 9 is zero ending. It's simple and impact and concise. So even if I found out, I perceived 9 ending is cheaper, but I prefer to zero ending. It's much simple and understandable to me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your opinion as you're right. So as Dr. Ku mentioned, as you can see here, the two price format convey very different psychological meaning to consumers. So on the left, precise or nine ending prices tend to evoke impressions like cheap, budget-friendly discount on sale. And sometimes it looks very calculated, right? And sometimes some people can think this is like a marketing trick, as Dr. mentioned. And on the left, landed price communicates almost the opposite side, like premium, very simple, high-end, easy to process, and it looks sometimes very stable compared to nine ending prices, right? So yeah, as even for the same product, the choice of price format fundamentally have how consumer interpret this offer and this price information. Actually, this is a key idea to understand the behavior pricing field.
Okay.
So now I'd like to introduce my paper. The study is titled Unlocking Revenue, Psychological Pricing Impacts for Airlines Upselling Strategies. And this work was conducted with Professor Kim from Texas A&M University and Professor Seung-eun from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University and Professor Ku as well. And this research applied the core principle of behavior pricing to understand how consumer responds to upgrade price in airline setting. So let me begin with the background of this research. And first, dynamic pricing is already well established practice in hospitality industry, including airlines. And this strategy is increasingly applied to upselling as well, because airlines, airfare have been widely affected by various factors like economic, political, and market factor. So to stabilize revenue, airlines have to rely on upselling strategies to encourage consumer to move to higher classes. Yeah, this is the upselling concept. However, despite its strategic importance, we still know little about which psychological marketing technique effectively motivate customer to accept the company's offer, that is, company's upgrade offer. And second, psychological pricing play an important role in shaping consumer behavior, as we already discussed. As I mentioned, just below price, like line ending price, or a very classical psychological pricing tactic in our field. And however, the effectiveness of rounded versus precise prices actually depend on various factors like decision type and consumer characteristic and other kinds of situation. Also, importantly, very real research has examined how different price formats influence decision in price comparison setting, like when consumer evaluate upgrade prices, which is the center of our study. So from this theoretical perspective, this study focuses on a psychological threshold concept in upgrade decision. So when consumers consider upgrading, they don't evaluate the upgrade price in isolation. It means they compare it against the price of their originally choose ticket, which become their reference price. The key idea here is the round numbers create psychological category boundaries. So when the leftmost digit change, for example, from 199 to 200, customers perceive the price jump as much bigger than the actual numerical gap, numerical difference. So even a small difference may feel like a large jump simply because it crosses a psychological threshold. So these psychological boundaries strongly influence how expensive the upgrade feel and whether consumer accept or reject this upgrade offer. So this very basic framework helps us understand why some upgrade price look acceptable while others, even if numerical similar, is too expensive. So to understand this concept more detail, look at this example. And so for the year base price is $19 in here. This is your reference price. Now the airlines give you two possible upgrade price. The first one, $29, and second one, $31. Actually, numerically, the difference between $29 and $31 is only $2, right? But psychologically, they feel very different because the threshold refer to the change in the leftmost digit of psychological boundary. So when the upgrade price move from the 20 lands to 30 lands, consumer feel as if they have crossed into a new price category. So even though the numerical difference is very teeny and small, the psychological jump is big because the price costs two boundaries in this example.
Mm.
So this is why $31 feel much more expensive than $29, even though the actual difference is just $2. So this
Okay.
is the base idea for this research.
Okay.
So
So
can
here's
you
a
understand?
question.
Yeah.
The question is like you are mentioned, we just a $2 difference here, but
Mhm.
consumers feel oh it's too much, like feel like a $20 to $30. So this
Mhm.
is a psychological impact.
Yes.
So in this case, you know, like airline company should decrease their psychological effect. Then we have to upgrade same level between
Mhm.
29 or 20 boundary rather than go over cross line to the 31. Because as airline company just they have to make money $2 and persuading consumer to purchase, without hesitate. Just okay, it's a simple, but in this case, is even $2 is psychological impact is too large from 20 to 30. That's the point, right?
Yeah, that's fine. This is a very simple and core ideal for this visual.
Mm.
Yeah, this is
So
your
the threshold is kind of a bar threshold
your boundary
boundary.
and your criteria to evaluate this
Okay,
price.
see. Mm. Thank you.
Okay, and the second idea is price color as a heuristic cue. Actually, LED color and in price behavior is very popular visual signal because people automatically associate LED price with discount, promotion, urgency, and sometimes good deal, right? So because of this automatic association, the color LED can influence how consumer interpret the upgrade offer and shape their decision making. So in other study, we examine whether presenting the upgrade price in LED strengthen the psychological threshold effects. So this is our second key theoretical idea for our research. So based on this theoretical foundation, our study pursues three key research objectives. And first, to examine how the combined impact psychological threshold between the initial choice, price, and upgrade price, together with price color, influence consumer upgrade acceptance. And second goal is to test the mediating law of perceived expensiveness between price raise holders and upgrade choice. And finally, we try to identify the moderating law of price color, specifically whether the LED impact disappear under the black condition, not black LED condition. So next is the literature review on behavior pricing within tourism and hospitality field. And as you can see, prior research has consistently shown that the effectiveness of precise versus landed price is not universal. Instead, it depends on heavily on contextual factors and individual consumer characteristics. So that is, the same price format can feel cheap, sometimes can be premium, or sometimes it looks very manipulated, depending on where it appears and how it is presented and who the consumer is. So the three overall highlight the psychological nature of perception and provides an important foundation for our study on upgrading pricing. So here's a brief summary of two variables in this study, but I think we can just skip this part because I already explained these two parts earlier. Oh. So here is our research model. This model illustrates how the two key variables, like psychological thresholds and price color, shape consumers' perception of upgrade prices and ultimately influence their upgrade acceptance decisions. So in essence, we examine whether these cues make the upgrade option feel cheaper than it actually is, encouraging consumers to perceive a small numerical difference as a much larger psychological difference. This is our key idea in this study. So to test this hypothesis, we conducted one pilot test, followed by 3 main experiments. So this is
Okay,
our
back to
yeah.
the slide here. Students may not understand what does that means. You already explained very well about the psychological threshold and 29 to $31. There's a psychological threshold is very high and large. If even though $2 difference, if $27 to $29 is low, but $29, $31 is very high. So this difference influence to perceived expensiveness, which means, okay, $29 to upgrade $31. Oh, it's quite expensive because it's a $20, $30, something like that. But if $27 to $29, even same $2 difference, it's always cheap. So less expensiveness.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
I study your paper 2 times and then I understand. That's why I asking you again and again for our students.
Okay.
First time when I read the article, you're writing these articles by almost 99 analyzing it, and I just revising it and editing it, and so I don't quite understand what the heck is this experiment design, and I reading twice and then I understand. So probably
Yeah.
in the master degree students or PhD degree students in this class, I don't understand quite well, clearly about this point.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, instead of them, exactly threshold, psychological threshold, large, high, and low.
Okay. So yeah, you can see this example. First, look at this slide. You can see two different scenario. The first
Yes,
one we
yes.
can
It's
see,
a psychological
yeah,
threshold is like
zero
high,
zero.
and 1,000, 19,000 actually is
Same. It looks very similar
similar, same, and it's
psychologically. Yeah,
low.
but the real difference is totally same or similar.
Okay,
The consumer
$4.
perceive. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, this is a very simple and very interesting
Right,
point, right?
right, right.
Okay, and I think we can just skip this part because you already know the our basic idea and the logic of this hypothesis. We can skip, and I will show my visual now. Actually, in here, here is the empirical packaging overview. So each study was designed to test different parts of hypothesis framework from the main threshold effects and to the mediating mechanism like perceived expansiveness, and finally the moderating effect of price color. So first, here are the stimuli used in study one. In study one, participants were first shown an initial fail option for longer flight from San Francisco to Seoul. After making this initial decision, they were presented with the upgrade option under two different conditions. As you can see here, in the high threshold condition, the base fare and the upgrade fare crossed around its price boundary, right? And in the low threshold condition, both prices remain within same rounded category. So in other words, when the initial fail and the upgrade fail fall within the same rounded price category, consumer feel that this upgrade is cheaper, even if the actual numerical difference is almost similar. So it's very interesting. Yeah, for me. So because of that, I really love behavior pricing part.
Okay.
And here are the results. As expected, consumers were significantly more likely to accept the upgrade decision in the low threshold compared to the high threshold condition. So this result supported 81. And next is study 2. Study 2 follows similar structure to study 1, and participation were first shown their initial economic class bill, and which served as a base price, which served as a reference price, and then they were provided with 2 business class upgrade options designed to manipulate the psychological threshold between base fare and upgrade fare. So in one condition, the upgrade price crossed a rounded boundary, creating high threshold perception, right? And in other words, in the other, the upgrade remained within same bounded category, creating a low threshold perception. So just like in study 1, this allowed us to examine whether being in the same price category make the upgrade feel less expensive, thereby increasing acceptance.
Okay. Back to the slide. Here you use the color, red color, for this upgrading. So
Yes.
it's low, psychological threshold low, and psychological threshold high, low and high, because it's just oh, sorry. But you're using the color, so red color and black color for this stimuli. That means red color is influence to upgrade the price.
Intention and perceived expensiveness as well. So
Yes,
as we already discussed, these two combined factor can affect the perception, like perceived expensiveness and finally upgrade decision.
Okay, right.
So
That's
you can
why
just
the
focus
like
to factor.
OTA site or other hotel site or airplane, company site, they are changing the price
color.
as red color for more selling or attention.
Yeah.
As color effect. Okay. Good.
So as Dr. Pru mentioned, marketer or platform operator can modify and adjust and design this information. It's very simple, but the visual looks very powerful, right? Okay. So the overall design of study is as follows. The experimental design closely follow the structure I explained earlier. So in study 2, as a visual, participants perceive the upgrade to be significantly less expensive than the base price and upgrade price belonged to the same rounded categories. That is a low threshold condition compared with a high threshold condition. Second, this perception translate into behavioral acceptance was higher in the low threshold condition than in high threshold condition. So this finding replicates study 1 and supports H1, confirming that smaller psychological threshold increase upgrade likelihood. So we then test whether perceived expensiveness serves as the psychological mechanism behind the threshold effects. So as you can see, the indirect effect was significant and direct effect was not significant. So this pattern indicates pull mediation, meaning the impact of psychological threshold on upgrade decision operate entirely through perceived expansiveness. So this result provides strong support for H2. And for study 3, participants first view the initial economic class flight option, where the base fare was idle. And then they were shown the available premium economy upgrade, where the upgrade price appeared idle. And thus, the key manipulation was whether the upgrade price was black or black. So in this study, we examined whether the psychological death impact we observed earlier would further depend on price color, specifically whether using red price strengthens consumers' perception of expensiveness. So to summarize, to test this, we use a 2x2 experimental design. So in study 3, we examine whether the psychological threshold effects would intensify when the upgrade price was shown in red. So, and also the results clearly support our idea and the previous prediction as well. So first, when the upgrade price appeared in red, participants perceived the upgrade as significantly less expensive. Yeah, in the low threshold condition compared to the high threshold condition. But when both prices were black, this difference completely disappeared. Yeah, so this result supports H3A. And also we observed the same pattern for upselling acceptance. When the upgrade price was red, people were far more willing to upgrade in the low threshold condition than in the high threshold condition. But again, in the black condition, there was no difference at all. So this support H3B. So finally, the moderated mediation analysis showed that indirect impact of psychological threshold on upsell acceptance through perceived expansiveness was significantly only when the upgrade price color was red. So this is our key finding in this study.
This is a very interesting findings. Look at the high psychological threshold and red. This is moderating. And low psychological threshold, that means low is like a same 29, 27, and 29, 31. This high threshold, right? In that case, red color is effective. And also acceptance is effective in red color. So red color and more low threshold, there is a selling. So means, like a stock price, when the red color is a stock price goes up. And the blue color is, okay, stock price are down. So the color effect is influence to the people's psychology. That's the point of this paper. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So to summarize the result across the study as follow, I expect all of you already know the result and our result. So across 3 experiments, we constantly found that when the base price and upgrade price were within the same boundary category, we call a low psychological threshold, participants were more willing to upgrade. So this provides strong support for H1. So we also confirm that consumers rely on comparative processing rather than simply reacting to the absolute upgrade price. So this is very interesting finding, as Dr. mentioned. And in study 2, we found that this effect operates through perceived expansiveness. It means that we found a very interesting psychological mechanism demonstrating clear mediation effect supported with H2. And finally, in study 3, we examining the moderating role of price color. the threshold effect appeared only when the upgrade price was shown in red. But when both prices were black, this effect disappeared. So this support H3A and H3B. Yeah. So we have several theoretical and practical implication. And first, this study introduced a novel concept of psychological threshold in upgrade pricing situation. Second, the finding integrate and expand the left digit impact and reference price theory and processing fluency. So the result explain how consumer simply multi-digit airline prices by anchoring on categorical boundaries. And third, this study pioneers price color research in tourism and hospitality field as well. And for all practical implication, airlines should strategically design upgrade pricing so that the base and upgrade prices were within the same bounded category to make small upgrade decision. Second, the result challenge the long-held assumption that just below non-ending price always enhance purchase likelihood. But our research show this is not beneficial for marketer. So relying solely on traditional pricing tactic, maybe it is ineffective for revenue management in the perspective of airlines marketer. And third, pricing and revenue management system should be optimized and by considering real-time categorical perception, not simply numerical difference and numerical calculation. So dynamic pricing algorithm can be adjusted to maintain low threshold condition when inventories allows. So it can maximize upsell strategy and upsell convention. So finally, the use of price color cues, such as displaying the upgrade price in red, it can be leveraged as a very stable revenue optimization tool, yeah, to enhance their revenue as well. And also, we have similar limitation and future research direction. And for us, our scenario-based experiment limit external validity. So virtual studies should use real A/B tests, A/B field tests with actual booking data. Second, because we use a US sample, so cross-cultural research is needed to examine whether numerical cognition and color symbolism differ across different markets. And third, we tested only red, black prices. Future work should explore other colors and additional other product like hotel or rent car or whatever to see how broadly this impact generalized. So these are our key limitation and future research direction. Yeah, so finally, I will briefly share my current and future research direction. And currently, I'm working on several under review manuscripts, and methodologically, I continue employ text and data mining research and controlled experiment and multi-mixed method design. So if any topics align with your interest, then please feel free to reach out anytime. And looking ahead, my research plan for next year focus on two major themes. And first one is sustainable aviation and future transportation role, resident and tourists. And finally, I'd like to close with a few words for graduate student and also for myself. Actually, it's a really reminder that I try to live by during my PhD. So first, always treat everyone with respect. Yeah, I think this is very important. For example, the classmate sitting next to you today may become your colleagues tomorrow. So Please treat everyone with respect. And second, don't be swayed by rejection. Yeah, I believe every rejection is a new opportunity to grow. So you don't need to be too sad after getting rejection. Well, I know it is not easy. And third, value the process more than the result. A sincere and honest process will eventually lead to good outcome. And fourth, everyone has their own timing. So don't compare yourself with the others. Your moment will come. And finally, focus on your research and give your best efforts. So yeah, this is my personal perspective, personal opinion. So I believe social networking cannot replace genuine scholarly achievement. So let your work speak for itself. Yeah. So this is my suggestion for you and myself. So thank you for your attention, and please let me know if you have any question and yeah, and feedback and comments. Anything is okay.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Let's give you a big applaud, hands. Okay. Please close your slide. Okay, questions from students. Degil.
Thank you for your lecture, and really glad to see you. I've saw your researcher before, and this is the first time I really meet you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you for your kind words.
Okay. Any other? You know why ask a question to a presenter? Let me show why. I will share the one.
No.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. She is a professor in Hong Kong Poly U and editor-in-chief tourism management. She came to our seminar 3 years ago, and actually a lot of young scholar and PhD students are scary of her presentation, her character, whatever. I don't know why, but probably. Anyway, she's presenting her paper that time 3 years ago, and then
Thank you. We have colleagues interested in
there was the time 3 years ago when the Cassie Su come to our seminar, and Dr. Lee, Eunji, she asked her question to Cassie, and very bravely and strong question to her. And I think is her braveness is leading her career path to Hong Kong Poly U right now. So I'm talking about your question and critics or comment about your idea to a presenter is talking to yourself. So Degil, any question to her? She's from, you from where?
I'm from Tibet.
She's from Tibet.
Yes.
So I'm going to visit Tibet this winter.
This winter.
I'm changing my mind. I'm going winter, not the summer.
Okay.
I just I'm visiting Tibet, and I'm 1 week. I stay in a hotel,
네.
and I just say, okay, I've been to Tibet, and that's my goal. I don't want to look around over Tibet. It's just I just stop by and Okay, I say I've been to Tibet someday.
Yes, winter is another thing. It's really beautiful too. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Snow mountain or other things. Yeah.
Well.
It's not
Hey,
really-
Manjun.
Yeah.
Question.
Your professor, thanks, Professor. This presentation is so interesting. Inaccurate, I didn't have any questions, but Professor, this the last word. Let your work speak for itself. It's inspired me. Yeah,
Mhm.
I will remember and keep going.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
the last
you.
word. Oh.
Thank you.
So, as you seen, she conducted two main methodology. One is text mining, another is experiment design. Actually, a lot of people cannot conduct two methodological at the same time because it's quite hard for making text mining. Another one is experiment design. It's a totally different approach. And it's surprising to us, to me, is she has done one way or another. One is text mining, another is experiment design. So is tough game. I know that, but anyway, she's done well. And Chun Eun-hui. Question.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have another question, and thank you for the class and it can show me how physically shape tourist choice and ocean affect destination.
Behavior.
Yeah,
Fine.
it was helpful and interesting. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much. If you have any question or any inquiry, please send me via email as well.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
okay, yeah.
Okay. Aswar, have any question?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. but
Speak up, please.
I just have, uh, yeah.
Okay. Can you speak up?
Yeah, Professor.
It's hard to hear.
Let's see the microphone. Now it's clear.
Yes, it's good.
I don't have any question. It's nice to have a lecture with you. It's nice to hear you.
Okay.
I think she said she don't have any question, right?
No question.
Yeah, it's okay.
보람,
Thank you.
김보람. She's a daughter of Boram Sangju.
Yeah. Thank you for your helpful lecture, and then especially I remember your last piece of the advice. I'll keep in my mind in end of the lecture.
What is that? The
그
last piece
advice,
of comment.
yeah. Advice 그 은지 Dr. Lee
Okay,
write
what was
the
that? The last one. I forgot. In this case, my brain is.
The last one is okay,
Last one.
work.
This
Let
the
the work
last one.
speak for itself.
Yeah,
Right.
let your world speak for itself. You have to focus on your study and your research, not social
Yeah.
networking.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
and
but
then-
this
Oh,
is my
I
personal opinion.
use social networking, not focus my work.
No.
I don't
That's not
want
what
to
I
do
mean,
my
just-
job.
yeah,
I'm using social network only.
I know it's actually social networking is very, very important, but
Yeah.
To me,
for
I
a
agree on
graduate
that.
student, the most important thing is focusing on your study and finding
Yeah.
your interest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will keep in my mind don't compare with others and just
Yeah.
the timing is very important to me.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
Yes.
I have a real tiny question about your research, your first research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And about destination image research. I thought from a supplier's perspective, the destination images seems to focus on primary information about the
Mm.
attraction. That it means the information could convey, shape the destination image. I thought
Okay.
yeah. I thought that the information is information about, but
Mm-mm.
this can be destination image. Yeah,
Yeah. I understand
yeah.
your question is very, very tricky question, and as you mentioned, it means in online information. Uh, Actually, Dr. Ku and I just expect in online information we found that especially in tourist review they limit many kinds of things like their detailed experience and their emotion and their um, specific experience within that station. So we can define this element can be defined as destination image element because as I mentioned earlier, destination image can consist of three different elements. The first one is cognitive element, and this is about the attribute and some belief and some knowledge of destination. And second element, so lead to emotional aspect, like the feeling toward specific experience and specific destination. So after seeing the online review, we found that these two image components, cognitive and affective. So we operationally define these contents, this information as destination image.
Yeah, thank you for your answer.
Okay, we have 2 minutes from Eunju, Vice President of a big company.
Oh, wow.
Very, very small, tiny company, actually. But for the good lecture, I was interested in tourism transportation, and I'm currently working at a related company, on-demand transit platform company. If there is a chance in the future, I hope we can study with interesting topics together.
Yeah,
Together.
sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Yang Jiwon, you have questions?
Thanks for the lecture.
Mm.
From your experience in both industry and academia, what skills or capabilities do you believe are most important to students?
The most important thing is mm, I think as graduate student, the most important thing is just studying hard, reading many papers. Actually, that's all. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, it is true. Yeah, this is the only way to improve your research skill. So you have to read and paper. But I think in industry field it's totally different. If you have a interest in hospitality industry, you have to learn a lot of skill like language skill, communication skill, and social skill. But if you have interest in academia, this is the only way to improve your
Okay.
academic skill.
Okay, thank you. She has a industrial background in aviation industry and paper publication as well. and the global experience in Temple. So those combination are all necessary and effective to get a job in academia. So I think it's she knows and I knows, everybody knows that. And so in terms of paper publication, she mentioned keep studying and focusing on studying. That's it. Okay, thank you, Professor Eunji Lee. Proud of you returning to your home class. And 3 years ago, you were students